today we are with Mr. Utku Alanç, the CEO of ARES Shipyard, and we would like to hear from you, first of all, the shipyards, ARES Shipyard's mission and strategy in global warfare.
First of all, welcome aboard again, and thank you very much for having us. Yes, as ARES, of course, I mean, you're asking directly about the strategy, which is the most difficult question you started with. Thank you. But it's at the same time easy for us because we are quite certain and precise in our strategy since the establishment of the company. Just maybe 1.5 years after the establishment of the company, the board has made a strategic decision change such that the company started the business in the very beginning as a pleasure craft builder. As I stated, just after 1.5 years later, the decision change directed the company towards more commercial and paramilitary craft in the beginning. But talking about strategy, our main goal has always been being experienced and specialized in let's say relatively smaller craft, performance vessels up to a certain length. For instance, our current capacity in terms of length is 90 meters, 90. And this is on purpose. We are not trying to get into larger vessels such as frigates or corvettes, maybe corvettes up to 90 meters.
Light corvettes.
Yes, light corvettes. Yeah, thank you. So the strategy has always been specializing, first of all, in a field and being innovative in that field. So that's what we have done so far in our pursuits for export. And I'd like to proudly state that 85–90% of our production has always been exports.
So when we look at your portfolio for the Turkish Navy, we see, or it was in fact Coast Guard, the control boats, 109 it was, then it was converted to 122 with new contract. So besides those boats, the rest is only for export, I believe.
Yes, just one more program we had for Turkish Coast Guard in 2014. Again, a little bit larger boats. They are in service for Turkish Coast Guard plus Cyprus, of course, Northern Republic of Turkish Cyprus. So we have those were aluminum as structural material. So yes, this is the second program in terms of domestic military or paramilitary, let's say.
Aluminum body, right? We are talking about the whole body is aluminum.
Whole body is aluminum, yes, yes. The control boats are composites. Yeah.
I see. So when we talk about export stories, it starts in a long time ago. And as far as we know, you have Oman, if I'm not wrong, Georgia. You are in the neighborhood, or are you playing Far East or other places as well?
I mean, yes, we are in the neighborhood. In the latest programs, yes, mostly in the Gulf, you see ARES quite active, like in Oman, Bahrain, and Qatar, of course. But we also have boats in Africa, in West and East Africa, in Nigeria in specific. In Nigeria Customs, we have paramilitary vessels, patrol boats, and in Tanzania, also in East Africa. So, yes, the recent programs have been in the Gulf mostly, but we are everywhere.
So, when we talk about West Africa, it means Pacific Ocean. When we talk about East, we do talk about Indian Ocean, where patrol boats perform or patrol on both oceans,
Yes.
besides the Mediterranean Sea and Black Sea?
Yes, yes.
Are there any, so what is the expertise that you gain from different oceans that you are patrolling? What did you gain from it?
Of course, I mean a lot, because as stated, our main expertise is in relatively smaller vessels. I mean, these are performance vessels. So when we talk about performance, we talk about speed, we talk about maneuverability, but at the same time, we have to consider the sea keeping, sea stability conditions. So when you look at the Pacific Ocean, for instance, we are talking about just 30-meter length vessels. So small vessels. We're not talking about OPVs. So these vessels have to be fast, maneuverable, but at the same time, sea capable. So our designs have always been custom, client tailored. This is a must, because when you're trying to sell to Pacific Ocean, you have different wave parameters, different sea conditions. When you talk about Indian Ocean, it's a whole different story. Black Sea, you never know. You know, they always say. So, of course, this gave us the flexibility to quickly adapt to the conditions, the environment of the end user, of the operator.
So, do you specifically work for each customer?
Yes.
To design? I suppose you don't redesign the body of vessel, do you?
If you're changing the environment completely, yes. I mean, this is difficult. That's why, I mean, most of the shipyards, they don't have an in-house design department, but we do. We have to do, because when we're talking about, you know, custom designs, we have to have a design department in-house to adapt to these environments.
You have to design, you have in-house custom, in-house design office, and you design for each customer.
Yes, but for instance, for the Gulf region, the Arabian Gulf, of course, we utilize the hull forms we already, you know, proved in this region. For instance, the Oman vessels. When we talk about the Oman vessels, the hull form it's not exactly the same, but the hull form has the experience of the Qatar Coast Guard vessels' hulls.
Almost same salty region. The quality of water,
and the wave parameters are the same.
Yes.
You know, the temperatures, the water temperatures are the same. So,
right. So can we say the customers which are not confidential? Can you tell the names? Besides Tanzania, Nigeria?
Yeah, of course, I can.
Georgia, Qatar, Bahrain.
Yes, I think that's pretty much it. Let me think about it again. So in Africa, we talked about Nigeria and Tanzania. In the Gulf, Bahrain, Qatar, and Oman. In the Caucasians, Georgia. But Georgia has two different clients, the Navy and Coast Guard. So, and Northern Cyprus and Turkey.
I see.
Until now.
So, now, what are the upcoming, I mean, I don't expect you to tell the hint to others. I'm sure they love to hear it from you, but I don't expect you to tell me. But maybe you can tell me a little bit about the region that you are.
Yes, of course. I mean, normally the Asian part, Southeast Asia, and the middle part of South Asia, they have not been in our, you know, priority targets markets. But lately, we are active in these regions in Southeast Asia. In Africa, we have always been active, even though it's difficult. It's a difficult market. I mean, you see some major actors in Africa, but we are now. I mean, as Turkey, as a country, plus of course as ARES, we are now also a major actor in Africa. So we are expecting to disclose some of some programs in Africa and in Asia as well. We are also active in South America, again another difficult market, but I believe it is going to be in not short run but middle term.
We should expect a result within 3-4 years.
I hope so. For South America, yeah. But for Africa and the other regions in Asia, I think we're close.
So we will hear good news soon,
hopefully.
If we come to Turkey,
yeah,
there are the Coast Guards. It started as 109 control boats.
105, yes.
105, sorry. Okay. 105, and now it is 122 control boats. Can you tell us a little bit, because you landed one of them a couple of days ago. It passed some trials, and so where are we at that point?
So first of all, that program, I mean that boat, when people are looking at the boat, it's a 12-meter ordinary looking boat, yeah. I mean, but of course it's a difficult boat because it's a small vessel, but you still have inboard engines plus water jets. So it's like a 25-30 meter patrol boat in terms of the configuration equipment. So the arrangement to fit in that vessel, to fit in the specifications with those equipment is quite difficult. So that was the first challenge for us. But we managed it, thanks to SSP and, of course, the end user, the operators of Coast Guard, Turkish Coast Guard, they're experts. So, but that was the challenge, but the most difficult, the largest challenge in front is the building methodology, production methodology. We're talking about delivering 6 vessels every 2 months. Yes. So I'm trying to explain this every time when I've been asked. When I'm asked, because it's quite different, unusual, not common, never done before, because we're talking about a serial production like an automobile company. So we're talking about outfitting one boat every week, every 10 days. So we're talking about days, and days and shipbuilding, they don't match. Yes. When you're talking about shipbuilding, you talk about months, years. So that's the largest challenge, and that's the new thing we are now adding in the shipbuilding technology or archives. If I'm not mistaken. So we have a brand new setup here in the production facility. We are using 2 facilities, one for the structural building, for advanced composites, and one for outfitting. And it's like we have lines, we have stations in the production area. So each station has its own expertise, completing the outfitting, and in the end of the line, we have lots of investments in this project. We have a specific trader waiting for the boat to take out from the factory and put it on water. So this has to be a continuous operation. So that's one thing. I'm sorry if it's taking too long, but this is important. And on the other hand, you were asking about the current status of the program. Yes, the first boat is called prototype as per the contract, because you have some details, minor details in outfitting that the Coast Guard wants to intervene. So we will have a 2-month period of Coast Guard to try the boat in all 3 seas, in all 4 seas, even the Black Sea. So after that, we will continue the serial production for the vessel. The current status is the first boats, the prototypes, internal quality control tests are completed. When I'm saying internal, it's ARES quality departments. So that's the current status. now the next phase is the client plus the end user plus the SSP quality departments will come over, and we will finish the contractual quality tests and trials, and then the serial production will go ahead. And it's going to take like 5 to 6 years to complete the program. But I hear, and this is not official, but the number of vessels will increase. And our expectation is, this is only a guess, no one to blame, but 200.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a huge number. It's enormous. Okay, let's come to your, shall I call it partnership, or is it a joint venture?
No, it's not a joint venture. You mean Meteksan?
Yes, ULAQ.
Yes, it's a partnership. It's not a joint venture. All companies stay in their position. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's partnership is, of course, it's professional, but let's say brotherhood. We're like brothers now.
Good.
Yeah.
When I look, there's a very professional appearance. No one does not try to be on the front scene. You have ARES Global, they have Meteksan, and then there is ULAQ Global. No one, there are just links to that independent website.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So I believe I don't expect you to tell me, but I believe it's something very like 50-50 partnership, something like that.
Absolutely. I can tell this. We're not, frankly speaking, we have not been in a position with Meteksan discussing or arguing, whatever you call, about commercials. We are target oriented. We are, trying to succeed. We have already, but we have more. So our focus is succeeding in this program. I always say this. We're not trying to follow this unmanned vehicle trend in the world. Everyone is trying to do something unmanned. We are trying to create a trend in unmanned version of these naval or commercial, whatever, but marine vessels. So nothing commercial. We have 50-50 partnership in terms of anything.
So when we come to naval or military terms, because there are, for example, firefighter.
Yes.
What are, how many versions do you have in the military or navy terms?
In the naval terms, I didn't count them, but I can tell. We have the. I'm discarding this prototype.
Yeah.
So it's a different story. You want me to start with that?
No.
Okay, let's talk about prototype. Okay, let's talk about prototype first, and then talk about the others.
Sure.
So, because we are being asked, why did you put in this prototype vessel these types of missiles? Why is the range is this much, or the speed is this much? This is a prototype, and in this prototype, we mostly tried to put in the configuration the most difficult equipment to manage to remotely manage and autonomously operate. So they have all the equipment on the boat have a purpose. So the guided missiles, we have Roketsan's, Cirit, and El-UMTAS. So not common in Navy. Yes, Cirit has some firing tests from the naval vessels, but not common. But why Cirit? Because Cirit is not a fire and forget guided missile, first of all. And the second is Cirit needs to be followed, or Cirit needs to be guided by the vessel. So it's difficult, compared to Atmaca, for instance, because Atmaca has its own seeker. And you can fire it, and it can find its target, or you can even bypass a target and shoot another one. So the most difficult ones we thought, and of course it has to be an indigenous domestic missile. So that's the purpose for this prototype. So it doesn't mean that the unmanned vessel or AUSV, ULAQ, is going to be with this configuration. No, this is probably going to be the only one with these missiles. I don't know. It depends on the end user. So the range, the speed, the engines, whatever on the prototype is the mentality behind it is this. So we believe that if we can succeed in these, the most difficult ones, we can go ahead. For instance, it has a surface drive. Motor jets, you can get more speed, you can get more maneuverability, more stable propulsion, and it's easier to remotely control the motor jets. But we didn't prefer because it's difficult. Motor jets are easier, but the other configurations we're going to talk about, they mostly have water jets and conventional propellers. So this is I wanted to explain it because of the questions behind the prototype vessel. So the real ones, let's say, the other designs we have. Actually, we have, first of all, we have completed all our prospective designs for the naval and commercial, or let's say humanitarian applications like the firefighter.
Preliminary designs are completed.
They are, yes, and they are not preliminary now. That's what I'm, yes. They are ready to build. So yes, we have all the drawings, all the details, all the 3D models and calculations.
So we are not talking about the scratch, or we are not talking about drawings. No. We are talking about
real platforms waiting to be built.
Ready to be
yes.
produced.
Yes, and we will. I mean, this is going to be after the prototype's missile firing tests.
Like the anti-submarine warfare. Okay.
Yes. I don't know which will be the first now. Okay. It is going to be depending on the end user, because we are talking. I mean, we are in discussions with multiple end users now. I mean, I'm not talking about Turkey only. We have serious end users, prospective clients for from our allies, some of the allies that I cannot disclose right now because they are also very, very sensitive. So the other designs you were asking, we have an anti-surface warfare version which is around 24 meters length. So when you look at the prototype, it's 11 meters, and the
double, yeah.
Yes, because we need to have sea keeping capability. We need to shoot. I mean, we need to fire those missiles precisely at sea state 5. Yeah. So the anti-surface warfare we're planning. Of course, this is going to be with guided missiles. These missiles will be more fire and forget. Not totally fire and forget like Atmaca, I can disclose, or you have some other versions, especially when you're talking about exports. Every end user has its priority in terms of missile systems, so we need to be careful when talking about the brands. But of course, Roketsan is ours. This is yeah. So the guided missiles are going to be a bit larger on those vessels, and we have also configured anti-air. This is self-defense or defending the fleet behind. We have a port security type vessel. This was the anti-surface, and with a little bit air defense.
Isn't what will be the range of the missiles?
Around 200 kilometers plus.
Okay, so you are really talking about kind of Atmaca.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And plus a small air defense. The port security vessel is in terms of weapon systems, it's a bit more simple with an RWS, remote weapon system, plus a precise electro-optic to inspect around the port. The port security vessel, as I said, is a bit simpler, and we have then the anti-submarine warfare version. So this also has two types. with the heavyweight torpedo like Akya. We have a design ready to carry Akya.
Really?
Yes. Plus, the other version is the lightweight, which we don't have exactly when you talk about the indigenous torpedo. It is not ready yet. We have alternatives. So the other one is with the lightweight torpedo, so it can carry 2 up to 4 torpedoes. Of course, with the sonars and sonobuoy launchers. And another version is the mine countermeasures. Of course, the anti-submarine warfares, the versions have also anti-submarine rockets. So I forgot that. The mine countermeasures vessel, it's more proven now in the world. I know a couple of companies, navies are now operating those types of vessels. So it's not going to be brand new, but it's going to be, of course, indigenous and domestic and national product. With an ROV, a remote operated small vehicle on this unmanned. Of course, it's all sonar to detect the mines, and then NRWS in front to destroy some surface mines. They usually use it. And then we have let's say, humanitarian version, the firefighter. But this is not only a firefighter, this is also a rescue vessel. So it's a SAR boat. Yes, because it has a precise thermal camera, electro-optics to detect people on the water. Plus 4 life rafts. These are all remote controlled, and it's tied to the vessel. So the plan is, for instance, you have a hurricane or a storm and a lost commercial vessel, and the weather conditions are heavy. The sea state conditions are heavy, and you cannot transfer a small Coast Guard boat to rescue those people. So what are you going to do? Send an unmanned vessel, because there's no one on board. So you're not risking anyone's life to save the others. Yeah. And send this vessel remotely, dispatch these life rafts, and the people will gather in the life rafts. We have 4 of them, and these are remotely controlled, but also tied to the unmanned vessel. So the vessel will basically tow those life rafts to the base. And of course, this is a plus, a benefit to the firefighting missions. It has 3 fire monitors to remotely intervene with the fires on floating platforms or vessels or offshore platforms of any type, or maybe some critical infrastructure to intervene from sea. When you're talking about unmanned, I already told about our ready-to-build designs, but when you talk about unmanned, it's limitless. It's just in here, and we have a young, energetic team coming up with different ideas every day. Sometimes at nights, we have an open group for free discussions. Everyone can write to that. Everyone can write to me about these ideas of different kinds. So yes.
I see. What's your level from?
So you cannot really tell when the first fire will take place, but it will be very soon.
Very soon.
Okay. At least we know that it will be very soon. Now, when you presented your ULAQ back in November or October, I'm not sure about the date.
The announcement. Yes. In 28th of October.
Okay. At the end of the October, towards the beginning of November. That's why I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
You thanked to the Turkish Defense Ministry and Turkish Navy for their support.
Yes.
At that time. But there is no the Presidency of Defense Defense Industries decision or SSİK decision. So it is your own decision between Meteksan and ARES produce something like that.
Yes, yes.
So no one really mentioned a need for such thing.
No, because from the beginning, I mean, it started 3 years ago. I mean, our the literature review, the basic designs, and the Meteksan partnership and production, it took more than 3 years. And even from the beginning, the idea was going on with the ownest investment, on our equity investment. So Meteksan is in the same direction and same mentality with us. But of course, we thanked to the Ministry of Defense and the Turkish Defense Industries, Presidency of Defense Industries, and the Navy. Yes, we did not apply to those authorities for any kind of incentive in commercial terms, but in technical terms, we did. And that's why we thank to them, because we have their technical support, I mean, in ideas, or just, it doesn't have to be anything official. We are not expecting anything. We didn't expect anything. But the technical support, and for this, the missile firing tests, of course, we need their support, and they granted. So, again, thanks to them.
So, do you expect them to, in the future, to buy, to acquire your systems?
Yes, and I would be maybe the happiest man in the world if we can manage to support our Turkish Navy or Coast Guard with these unmanned vessels first. Of course, we are export-oriented, and our mission for Turkey, that's how we believe that we pay our debt to our country with exports, with bringing some foreign currencies to the company to support the economy. But of course, on the other hand, there is this emotional part that we would love to. This is not, I'm not talking about selling a product to Turkish Navy, just supporting them to see that, that's our product, sailing in the Mediterranean and scaring those, enemies.
Is there any change of strategy? Normally, in the Turkish system, the SSB and the SSİK makes a decision. Then it comes to a procurement under a tender project, and then the companies, the shipyards, bring their examples or their offers. Your system works vice versa, and on the other way.
Yeah.
Because you say we have something for you.
Basically, yes. Yes.
We know what you want, but we have something for you.
Yes, but I mean, the normal procedure is, let's say, conventional procedure is, yes, like that. The RFP, they prepare an RFP and then go to a tender and then we bid. So this is conventional, but we're talking about unmanned vessels. So the conventional term just doesn't fit. So we leave that part aside because this has not been done before. I mean, an unmanned, armed, with a guided missile capability boat, never done in the world. So this is an R&D, and we prefer to start this project with our own equities, and then decided to, of course, in technical terms, work together, and then present it to the end user and SSP. And SSP, we know that the SSP has some plans for unmanned vehicles as well. This is also an ongoing process, but as far as we know, the process was in very early phases, like searching the Turkish technology market about what they have in hand and in mind. So what we are presenting or proposing right now is, we already have this.
A mature
Would
solution.
you like to? Yeah, a mature solution, and hopefully, I mean, if we can satisfy the end user in terms of the operational needs, we'll be more than happy.
When you have the other options, like the anti-submarine warfare or the surface warfare, or mine
Countermeasures,
clearance.
yeah.
Do you also receive support from the Navy or from the Ministry or SSB?
Yes. In technical terms, yes. Because unmanned operation concept is very new to the navies as well, to us too. So, but we know that Turkish Navy is a very advanced institution. I mean, compared to the other world navies, they know what they're doing, and they have their future plans in hand already, and we know that they do this quite in advance. So that's very helpful, at least giving an idea about what they will need or the navies will need. But it's not only for them, but also for our exports as well. Then we can propose or present some other alternatives to potential clients, potential allies for their needs in their environments.
You mentioned, now you said potential clients, but you also said multiple end user when we're talking.
Yes.
So for your unmanned vehicles, how many do you guess clients you will have in future? I don't expect you to tell me the names of the countries or navies.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But at least
I can tell that of course we have discussions with many countries. I mean, I cannot count it right now. It's just difficult. But I mean, I cannot give the number. But I understand your question. You're trying to get something more concrete,
sure,
solid. So it's fair, and I can tell that we have 3 serious end users that we are in discussions with. I mean, when I'm saying serious, we and they know the concept. I mean, what they need, what type of unmanned vessels they need, or we know that what they need. So we have something on the desk. We can discuss and talk about. We are not just oh, you have unmanned vessels. Can we see? Can we get a brochure? This type of countries, we have many, of course, but 3 serious, yes.
So if we come to them, will you have to, like you do for your fast craft that you sell, will you have to redesign the body in water or the upside?
In terms of naval architecture, no. The bodies are suitable now. I mean, what we designed, but the configurations will change, of course. I mean, the weapon systems will change.
Of course, for the configuration according to their request, of course.
Yeah.
But
the bodies are suitable for these countries.
I see.
That's why I'm saying we are ready to build.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Well, there is a competition in Turkey and in the world on that area. You also mentioned a little bit before about other productions. So can you tell us a little bit your philosophy? What is the difference between, how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors in Turkey or abroad?
First of all, the flexibility to have the design department in-house. I mean, we do the production level also here. So our production drawings are produced in-house, just next to the factory. So coordination. We're not outsourcing these services. So coordination is fast and correct. That's the important part. Plus the capacity and capability for serial production. We are fast. Like for the Qatar program, for instance, the 17-vessel program. We finished that contract 1.5 years ahead of the schedule. This is very uncommon for shipbuilding industry. Mostly the contracts are late. For Oman, this program. Again, I mean, this is we proposed a very competitive delivery schedule. We are delivering 2 26-meter patrol vessels every 2 months. So that's our strong part. Again, the design, of course, that's our expertise. A good design, a custom design, which is very attractive and the right thing to do. Fast and high quality delivery. I mean, what's left? Maybe commercial terms. I cannot say, I mean, we are competitive, of course, but we never say that we are cheap.
You talk about here about your company profile. When we come to unmanned vehicles, do you have some differences from them in that in a philosophy?
Again, in naval architectural terms, no, because again, we're talking about performance vessels. This time, we don't have the superstructure, but maybe a small station. It's even easier to outfit. So, and we already have the serial production infrastructure in place, thanks to the Coast Guard program. And the production methodology will be the same because we know that an order for unmanned, a type of or types of unmanned vessels will not be one-off orders or single orders. This is going to be in numbers because the mentality, the operational philosophy needs a number of those unmanned vessels to be more deterrent. So I believe I told this a couple of weeks ago in publicly that we are capable of building 50 plus unmanned vessels in a year, and this can even be increased, but with the current infrastructure, with doing nothing, nothing else.
Something about your unmanned systems. You say they are remotely piloted, right? When we say
Yes.
unmanned. Do we talk about swarm technology or autonomous technology?
Good question. They are not only remote controlled, they are also autonomous vessels. Even on this prototype, we have an autonomy software running. In this prototype, of course, we have a frame like the COLREC requirements we have. You know COLREC?
No.
It's a regulation. I'm trying to remember the long version of the abbreviation, but it's a regulation. It's a common regulation, not only for navies but all marine traffic, to prevent collusion at sea.
I got what you were saying.
So we thought that at least, and at the first place, we have to have this capability in this vessel because this has not a, this doesn't have a captain on board, and the law doesn't include the unmanned vessels now for marine traffic. So it's a bit complicated. At first place, we plan to have the COLREC on the vessel, so it can prevent collusion, or you can set up a route and give the boat a mission for surveillance, or even missile engagement. But this is not required, and this is not asked because maybe a bit dangerous to engage missiles. But at least we can set waypoints, or because we have electronic chart display system on board and on the control station. So it can autonomously conduct these missions and according to COLRECs. But in the next phases, of course, we will be talking about the swarm operation. It's a whole different story. When you talk about swarm, I have to be careful because it's something different. I mean, it's not only autonomy.
Yes, it's not only autonomy. It
Yeah.
is. It can be dangerous.
Yes. So, but I'm not saying that this is not on target. This is absolutely on target. We want to do it. And of course, Meteksan is at the first place in this. It's their expertise. And we are talking about these, we are discussing, and this is in the next phases of our unmanned series.
I see. Is there anything that I didn't ask, but you would like to say, give a message, convey a message to audience?
I mean, thank you for your patience. I think I talked a lot, first of all, and you as well. You traveled a lot to meet us here. First of all, to our audience in Turkey, I know that this is in all over the news, and the people are following these news, especially after seeing the success of our unmanned air vehicles. But I would like to tell them that we have the excitement. Maybe, I mean, I know that the people are very excited, but I want them to know that we are maybe even more and more excited than them. And we are supporting this project as the management of the company, plus we have the support of Turkish government behind us. And we will go to the end, whatever it needs for this unmanned vessels in the Navy or in Marine. And I would like to say that there is no end for this. So for our allies, of course, potential end users overseas, of course, we are always ready to support them. We have always done it as ARES and Meteksan also. We believe that we have superior products in service, and we will follow these hopefully with the unmanned systems. And we would like to do, I mean, we would be more than happy to support them as we support our Navy and Coast Guard here. Thank you very much once again.
You're welcome. My pleasure.